Life can throw all kinds of horrible things. Do not underestimate life, it can do things to you. Yes? It can do all kinds of things to you. Most unexpected time, it will throw something at you that you did not imagine possible. The more active you are, more unexpected things happen to you. Yes. So instead of trying to control what life should throw at you, equipping yourself in such a way, no matter what it throws at you, you will make it into a wonderful possibility. If this one thing is done within the human being, then every situation is a possibility. Once every situation becomes a possibility, this human being will blossom to a full-fledged life. And this is the aspiration of every life, to somehow become a full-fledged life. People always kept account of money and things that they have. But very few people kept accounts of how they are, or they're progressing or regressing or what is happening. People have taken on this mode. If small things go wrong in their life, they'll find one little person down there and say it's because of him. I'm talking about the husband. If big things go wrong, it's because of him, the big guy up there. This guy, never in account. The little people are big people. This one acts really big when he has to receive something. But when he has to give something, he really acts very small. People have taken on this mode. This is because there is no clear accounting process and no clear-cut balance sheet. This is where I stand in my life. If there was an accounting process, when you were 5 years of age, how joyful you were. Today, how joyful you are. The balance sheet, is it profit or loss? That means it's loss. I was speaking to a group of people at the Princeton University, and I looked around. A whole lot of people sitting with long faces. Particularly in your university, the faces are extra long. Maybe it's the weight of knowledge, I don't know. So I looked around, except for 3, 4 faces, which were young faces, which were bright, all others. Then I asked them, what's happened to all these people over 30 years of age? Why are they carrying such long faces? One lady stands up and says, they're all married. This has happened only because there is no day-to-day accounting. Every day before you go to bed, if you had a balance sheet going, today, am I a little better human being or am I a little worse? Every day. If you had accounts, once a year, if there was a clear audit, external audit, then very quickly you would have recovered. But after 25 years, one day you realize you are deep in the red. Now very difficult to recover because it's gone to another place. We're to a point where a whole lot of people have an argument that it is not practical to be joyful in the accounting job. A whole lot of people are actually arguing that it's not practical to be joyful. You met a lot of them? Yes or no? People are making a case that it is not practical to be joyful. Is it practical to be in various states of stress and distress and still function properly in the world? If one has to function in variety of atmospheres, in variety of situations, variety of challenges on day-to-day basis, one fundamental thing is, this must be a peaceful and joyful being, isn't it? Otherwise, how is it practical that a person under great stress or distress can function effectively in any field or any area of life?
Just working hard doesn't do things in the world. This is the biggest problem. Right from your childhood, your parents taught you, if you study, how should you study? Study hard. If you work, how should you work? Work hard. You do everything hard. If you do things hard, things won't happen. It'll become a donkey's life, just doing everything hard. Nobody told you, you must study in joy. Nobody told you, you must work in love. They told you, you must do it hard. They made their lives very difficult for themselves. Now they are ensuring that your life becomes difficult too. Why do you work hard? What are you working hard? If it's hard, give it up. If you can do it joyfully, you do it. Otherwise, don't do it, isn't it? Isn't it so? If you're going to make yourself miserable in the process of working, what use is your work to yourself or to anybody around you? You just sit at the temple gates and beg and eat, it's better. Somebody will throw you 1 rupee, 2 rupee. You eat out of it, at least that you do joyfully, sit there happily, eat what people throw into your bowl. If you're going to make it so hard for yourself, I'm sure you're making it very hard for everybody around you, isn't it? If you're going to spread misery in the world, it's better you don't do anything. If you're going to spread joy in the world, go and do as much as you can. Now you work hard. Just because you work hard, things need not happen, and they do not happen. One day it happened. Can I tell you a joke? Shankaran Pillai's old ambassador wouldn't start. Does anybody still own ambassador? No? All of you evolved out of it. His old ambassador wouldn't start. So he went home. He had a kitten at home. He brought the kitten, harnessed it to the ambassador. He said, "Go, let's go, let's go." People looked at this and said, "Are you crazy? Can this little kitten pull the ambassador car? Generally, it takes God to move this car." "What are you doing?" Shankaran Pillai said, "Don't you fool yourself, I have a horsewhip." You believe you can do everything hard and it'll work. It'll not work just because you do it hard. You must do the right thing, only then it works, isn't it? If you do not do the right thing, it does not work. People who are successful not because necessarily they work hard, they just know what's the right thing to do with their kind of job. That's why they're successful. Another day, Shankaran Pillai fell into the septic tank. I want you to imagine. Right up till here in filth. Please imagine and see. He tried to get out desperately, he couldn't. Then after some time, he started screaming, "Fire, fire, fire!" Neighbors heard the fire screams, called the fire brigade. The firemen came and looked everywhere, no fire. Then they found him in the septic tank, pulled him out. And then they asked, "Why were you screaming fire?" Then Shankaran Pillai retorted, "If I said shit, shit, would you come?" You must do the right thing, otherwise it doesn't work. So just working hard will not do. You must do the right thing, otherwise it doesn't work.
See, what people are generally calling as destiny is essentially what they end up creating unconsciously. When I say unconsciously, as you sit here right now, as everybody sits here right now, there is physical activity going on within the system. There is mental process, there is emotional activity, and of course the life energies are active. Every moment, they are taking in hundreds of inputs, whether you're conscious or not conscious. So if I ask you a question, since this morning, from the time you woke up till now, of these 4 dimensions of activity, how much have you conducted consciously? What percentage do you think?
Few things.
How much percentage do you think?
25%.
You are very generous, man. It's well below 1%. If you walk from there to there, there will be 25 different kind of smells that you're not conscious of, but the body registers and records. There are 100 different kinds of sounds that the body registers that you're not conscious of. Like this throughout the day and night, in wakefulness and sleep, this is happening. When you are only conscious of less than 1% of your activity, definitely life will look like an accident. Hello? When 99% of the things that you're doing unconsciously, definitely life will look accidental. If the accident… See, it is so happened, somebody fell off on the street and had a brain injury, after that suddenly they started working their mathematics in a wonderful way. But that was only one. 1,000 other people who cracked their skull never recovered from that, or they died, or those who lived on much diminished. So, being accidentally fortunate is not the way to exist. So, whenever a pleasant accident happens, we say it's destiny. Some of you even say, God doing things to me. When did you make a partnership with him? I don't know. So, shall I tell you a story? Are you okay? This happened. Sherlock Holmes, you know Sherlock Holmes? And Watson went out camping, and early morning, 3:30 a.m., Sherlock Holmes nudged Watson. He opened his eyes, "What? What do you see?" he asked. "Well, I see a clear sky and stars." "What does it mean to you?" He said, "Well, that means tomorrow is going to be a wonderful sunny day." Then he asked, "What does it mean to you?" He said, "It means someone has stolen our tent." So, we don't know what went missing, and something may fall here and there by chance, but that's not the way life works. If a human being doesn't take it upon himself or herself to make their own destiny, they're still having an evolutionary problem. That is, they are still not yet fully there. Because being human means this, that we can conduct our life consciously. Being human means this, that we can craft our life the way we want. But this destiny business is a good insurance to handle your failure. Whenever you fail, destiny, it's God's will. So this has been going on for a long time. This is not the fundamental nature of this culture. In this culture, we taught you right from ancient times, your life is your karma. Did we tell you or no? Nobody told you there is a God up there who will do things to you. We always told you, your life is your karma. This means your life is your making. No interstellar influence on you, it's you. Whatever, there are a million impacts on us, but what we make out of it is still us, isn't it? What is thrown at us is not in our hands. What comes our way is not in our hands, but what we make out of it is 100% in our hands. I must tell you this. When I first went to Coimbatore and we started setting up the yoga center, this is a country like this is very strange. Now they're all clapping their hands. But at that time, simply rumors, oh, they're doing drugs, they're doing something else, they're here to kill the wildlife, they're killing tigers, they're killing elephants, all kinds of things. Rumors going around, even media reporting these kind of things. Then 100 prominent people in the town meet and then they say, this yoga is spreading like a disease. These are the words. We have to do something. There some young hothead says, let's take a truckload of people and pull down the whole thing, because the whole yoga center at that time was just thatch roof sheds. So they decided they want to come there and pull down the whole thing and be finished. Today, it is among the most prominent places in the country, okay? So, when they said this, there was an old man who is no more, a wise man. He said, see, you don't know who you're dealing with. I know this man. If you throw stones at him, he will build something out of those stones. Don't throw stones at this man. So, what comes at you, you cannot decide, but what you make out of it is your thing, isn't it? This is where your dint is. This is where you are to prove who you are, because you can't decide what comes at you, but you can definitely decide what you make out of whatever comes at you. Not every situation which seems like a solution is actually a solution, and not every situation which seems like a problem is a problem. So, what is a problem, what is a possibility? It's like this. There was a little bird in Michigan, United States, and winter was just setting in. This is the time he has to move south to warmer climes. But he was a little too happy and tweeting around, you know. He had found a lot of company in the human species that so many of them were tweeting, so he was also busy tweeting. And he kind of delayed his flight south. So after weather started freezing, he tried to fly and his wings froze and he fell. Then a cow was walking by and it… you know cows, droppings happened. It landed straight on the bird. Feeling the warmth of the dung, slowly the bird recovered and became very happy and tweeted again from within the dung. A hungry cat was passing by, heard the tweet, opened up the dung and ate up the bird. So not everybody who heaps shit on you are your enemies. And not everybody who gets you out of shit are your friends. It is just that if you are equipped, if you have equipped yourself in such a way, no matter what happens, you know how to make it into a wonderful possibility for yourself. Because what life throws at us is not our choice always. We try to manage it to some extent, but it's not entirely our choice. Life may throw all kinds of things at us, but what we make out of it is 100% ours. If this one dimension, if we take charge of this, no matter what life throws at me, I will make this into a tremendous process for myself. Let it throw whatever. It doesn't matter what life throws at you, you will turn it into a possibility. You will not make anything into a problem because you are not a problem. This is a choice that every human being has, either for every situation. When I say every situation, there are only situations and situations and situations in our lives. When you don't know how to handle a particular situation, you call that a problem. What is a problem for you may be wonderful possibility for somebody else, usually is, isn't it? There are no problems in life, they're just situations. You can either make it into a possibility or a problem. You can either you yourself become a possibility or a problem. This is a choice every human being has. But to exercise this choice, you have to be in a certain way within yourself. Within yourself, you are in a certain state of equanimity, balance and exuberance that no matter what life throws at you, you will make it into a wonderful possibility. Life can throw all kinds of horrible things. Do not underestimate life, it can do things to you, yes? It can do all kinds of things to you. Most unexpected time, it will throw something at you that you did not imagine possible. The more active you are, more unexpected things happen to you. Yes. So instead of trying to control what life should throw at you, equipping yourself in such a way, no matter what it throws at you, you will make it into a wonderful possibility. If this one thing is done within the human being, then every situation is a possibility. Once every situation becomes a possibility, this human being will blossom to a full-fledged life. And this is the aspiration of every life, to somehow become a full-fledged life.